Christian Porter there speaking in Sydney this morning. Cassandra Goldie is the Chief Executive of the Australian Council of Social Service, an advocacy group which represents social welfare providers. She joins us now in the studio. Cassandra Goldie, welcome. So the government says this is all about trying to help people with drug problems. Is that how you see it?
Well, no, we don't. I mean, if the government was serious about wanting to help people who do have drug and alcohol addictions, they would be listening to the serious experts in this area. The health experts uniformly have advised against this kind of policy. The government's own advisory body on drugs advised the government back in 2013 not to go down this path. And again today we've had health experts out expressing serious opposition to this kind of approach. I mean, every single dollar that the government has should be focusing on addressing the issue in a way that the health experts are confident will deliver better results for people who are facing an addiction, and this is not it.
But the government says this hasn't really been tried before, so it's worth a go. Can you give them any brownie points for at least giving something a go if they're trying to help people?
Well, why don't we give a go to what the health experts want to see in this area, which is serious investment in really decent expanded alcohol rehabilitation, drug rehabilitation assistance for the community. That's what they've been asking for. This experiment, why would we be experimenting when we know what does work? Look, in our view, this is a policy which really is designed to demonise people on social security and take our attention away from the big problems facing people on social security, which is not enough available paid work.
But the government is adamant that there is evidence that when you compel people into programs that can have a positive impact. Are you aware of evidence along those lines?
Well, speak to the AMA, speak to St Vincent's Health, speak to the best experts in the country. We are a smart country. We've got really excellent health professionals in this area, none of whom support this. I think it's extraordinary that the government will not sit down with the serious experts in this area and design a package of approaches to drug and alcohol addiction where we've got these solid evidence about what works. This is going to be a waste of money. It's going to be damaging. That's what the experts are saying as well. We're very worried that people who do have an addiction, who can't get paid work, who are relying on social security to cover the basic costs, won't come to social security for assistance, will be forced into destitution because they're not getting income support. And of course the many people who are wanting to rely on social security because they can't get paid work, who don't have an addiction. I mean, how demeaning and dehumanising will this be for them?
But the government says that the welfare is not cut off with this. If there are positive tests, then in the first instance, then they go onto this cashless welfare card, and in the second instance, within 25 days, they're referred to a medical professional.
You're coming to social security for assistance, income support, because you cannot get paid work. You're going to be forced into being tested for an addiction, whether or not you do have one. And as I say, the experts are very concerned that what we'll see for people who do have an addiction, that they won't necessarily be coming to get income support anymore because they won't want to be tested, and they will be forced into destitution. That's the last thing we should be doing. This is a serious health issue, and we need a serious health response to it. This isn't it.
So if this is not, in fact, about helping people get off drugs, what do you believe it's all about?
Well, as I say, I think this is another policy which the government has announced to try and suggest the big issue about social security is that people are either got a big drug and alcohol addiction or they're lazy. This kind of, image of who you are when you're relying on social security. The big issue for people is not enough paid work. That's what we want to work with the government on when it comes to social security. And when we go across into the area of drug and alcohol addiction, which is of course an issue across society, we should be working with the serious health experts in this area to design a decent response on the evidence of what would work. That's where we want to see the dollar spent.
When Malcolm Turnbull came to power, you were expecting we wouldn't see this kind of policy come up?
Look, I think this is really disappointing. You know, we had a bundle of policies announced in the last federal budget. This was one of them, all of which were, we believe, again, trying to suggest that the issues for people on social security were about individual failings. The big problem is the lack of paid work available for people. The issues of poverty and inequality are real in Australian society. That's what we should be doing on the social security reform front. And also, as I say, with every dollar in the health area, we want to see that going to things that will work, where we've got the confidence, the expertise. I really wish the government would back off from this, listen to the experts so that we can be confident that, and I think that that's what the public want. They want to be able to back policies where the best of the experts in the country are saying this is what we need to do.
And you stay across what's happening in Parliament. Do you think this has got any chance of getting through the Senate anyway?
Well, I think it's really important that both the Labor Party and the Greens are very clear that they're opposing this. I think the Nick Xenophon team is seriously looking at this. I know the health professionals are talking to the Xenophon team, and we certainly hope today that they finally show their hand and back the best experts in the country and not a government which has already been advised not to do this.
But who knows where the numbers are going to fall in Parliament with this citizenship saga, where half of them might not be there in a couple of months anyway.
And in the meantime, we've got people in the community who are looking for support from government to help get paid work, and we have people who are ready to deal with an addiction who can't get into treatment programs. Let's fix that.
Okay, Cassandra Goldie, thanks so much for coming in and having a chat to us.